When a person like me is afflicted with bipolar disorder in an episode, it comes across three different, often overlapping phases of depression, mania, and psychosis in any order. Mania can be less severe, possibly high function and often undetected, and this is known as hypomania, often the first symptom one will face before becoming fully manic and crossing over into psychosis and psychotic behavior. Psychosis can be a result of extended mania, sleep deprivation, drug abuse, or a bad trip, delusional varying personal and religious insights, or major changes in life like a bad relationship or a new job. With so many causes for an episode, it can often seem like it happens randomly, but looking back through my episodes, there's always been a cause.
From Poplar Bluff, and PB is the atomic symbol for lead on the elemental chart, and our water has this rust-colored water in it, and lead is some kind of thing for, these dense elements. But I got this at the OH, the Opportunity House. We went down there in group, and this lady came out with a shirt and said, "How would you like this? This is something you might like for 50 cents.
What can start as mania and make someone believe they can accomplish more than they actually can leads to delusions of grandeur, extreme increases in mental and physical energy, increased creativity. This often leads to sleep deprivation, where the mind is left to wander into deeper psychosis. Psychotic suggestions of the mind will seem valid, and one will plummet into delusion. And when this happens, actions of the person in the episode are extremely sporadic and unpredictable, often incomprehensible to anyone but the one who's actually experiencing the illness. The individual often feel like they've crossed a great hurdle in their life, though, or changed into a drastically better person than they were before, and this will often be the reason they don't want help or the help of other people, because they obviously know other people view this as a problem, and they would normally view it as a positive change. But this is another delusion, because once you go through the cycle a couple times, you realize inevitably you spizzle out and you're, taken back to the extreme lows following the months or possibly weeks, the weeks or possibly months of psychosis.
So omni backwards is I-N-M-O, in-mo, the two states of the universe. Oh, do you believe me? I wish I had my A to Z astrological delineator and encyclopedia, because since I've been in Indiana, I've done 300 or 400 natal birth charts for people. I remember one of my favorite classes at IU was Chinese and Japanese.
Because let's be honest, if there was nothing that felt good about being sick and being delusional and being psychotic and being manic, if there was nothing good about feeling this way, we would seek treatment immediately. The reason we don't is because it feels as if we're taken over by our primal self, the self that wants what we want most, and that's very much worth it to have. And when you don't know the end outcome, it's even more worth it to have, because you only see the positive effects. So I think that's a very underappreciated aspect of this disorder, is that when you first become afflicted, you see basically nothing but positives, and other people will see basically nothing but negatives and be basically just nothing but confused. Saying this, I want to take a look at Ian's mania presenting in the show Shameless when we first see him come back from the army, as I think it's a very good representation of bipolar in television, although not perfect, but yeah.
Did you know what's up?
Yeah, I think so. Yo. What is up?
Okay, so take note how they're about 10 feet from the bar right now. Ian looks at them, notices it's them, makes a face that is recognizing them, and then makes another face that isn't recognizing them. So you can obviously tell he's creating a plan of some sort, and this is evident in bipolar when you're deep in psychotic delusions and manic thought. Because obviously you can't share what's actually going on in your head, because when you say it out loud it makes no sense, but you want to keep doing it on your own. So he's formulating a plan right now, and part of this plan involves giving himself an extra couple seconds to think, and we can see this happen here.
Yo. What's up?
And then obviously all it takes is a little tiny wave from Lip where Ian's already looking at them for him to wave his arms in the air and say, "What's up?" So he already clearly noticed them, but now that he's being called out, he has to interact and he comes over.
Hey, man. Oh. Yeah. Debbie, oh my gosh, you look great.
Thank you. You do too.
This is my brother and sister. This is family. Hey.
And then a very aggressive high five to Lip, almost like he's angry at him for approaching him here. And then he hugs Debbie and kisses her on the face. A very weird interaction to both of them to set the mood. And then without even responding to either of them, he pulls somebody else aside and says, "This is my brother and sister, you know, this is family." A very weird thing to say, and it just shows how odd his mind is working right now, that he wouldn't want to interact with them, but instead one of his coworkers, and explain something to him that this is family, you know, is an obvious fact, but this is somehow a deeper revelation to him, and this is evident in bipolar and psychotic thought. When you're in a psychotic episode, deep revelations that might be deep or not, or true or not, seem somehow profound and worthy of telling to certain people and, you know, not worthy of being told to other people.
Hey.
How long you been working here, huh?
A couple weeks. This place, it's awesome. It's super convenient. You guys want drinks? They're on the house.
No, I'm good.
Appletini. Two appletinis.
Okay.
Okay, so just take note here how easily he responded to the questions about his job. You know, a couple weeks, do you want drinks? You know, it's great, all of this stuff. He's very evidently easygoing and talking about his job. That's not a problem for him. But going into talking about why they're there and why he's not in the army and why he left in the first place, these are obviously difficult topics. But in Mania, you don't want to lose that upbeat attitude. So he doesn't want to address these issues because potentially it would create, you know, a drama and a downbeat attitude to bring him out of his groove. So he doesn't want to address any of that stuff, but he's happy to address his job because that's something that is included in his manic routine, something that's going on and fueling him. So he's not upset to address that, but as we'll see, he's not so happy to address the army and the reason they're there.
Hey, Ian, is there any place we could talk?
Oh, I love this song.
Directly avoiding a question. You know, is there anywhere we can talk? Obviously not about the things he wants to talk about. So, no, I love this song. There's nothing to talk about.
Yeah, look, some Army MPs came by looking for you. They want to arrest you for going AWOL, stealing government property.
Top shelf.
Very serious statement. They want to arrest you for going AWOL, stealing government property. They came looking for you. Another direct avoidance. This is top shelf, as he's making them drinks that they hardly even asked for, that he pushed on them. That's going to be one of the main reasons they get kicked out. So you can see that he's not working with them at all. He's working for himself, and he's working in a very strange goal, a goal that nobody other than, you know, a sick mind would understand, and the sick mind that's creating this illusion would understand.
No, hey, did you hear me? They say you stole a helicopter.
That's hilarious.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't steal anything. I just started the rotors. Hey, can you guys hang around for a while? My shift gets off at 2, but I always go out after or hit the local gym, depending on how pumped I am. But seeing you guys, I feel great, you know?
So I'll talk more about the local gym after 2 a.m. and staying out at night after the clip's over, but that's a very big part of how mania starts to turn into psychosis and things start to stop making sense.
You know what? Hey, let's go outside so we can hear each other, huh?
Try your drink.
No, outside. Come on, come here. Come on.
Get your hand off him.
No, it's fine. It's okay. We're brothers, all right? We're just talking. Yo, Ian!
And I definitely need some ID. Let's go.
She's not drinking, man. Ian!
And then as soon as the bouncer shows up, Ian's out. You know, he leaves, lets them get kicked out. That's what he wants. He wants to be where he is. He wants to be doing what he's doing. Otherwise, he wouldn't be there. You know, in psychosis mania, you do what you want, and this is clearly what he wants. This is an avenue for his sickness to, you know, come forward, and he wants to continue doing it. And it's not his choice necessarily, but he's stuck in this mindset and delusionally, you know, thinks that it's good for him or that he is good in it or some form of that. So, like I said in the beginning, mania leads to psychosis, and it happens through a lot of things. And one of the main things that leads to psychosis is sleep deprivation. And sleep deprivation, when you're manic, it's a lot of very intense, delusional, psychotic, grand thoughts, plans, ways to execute them. Often it'll lead to spending, distancing, or seeing people doing very strange things, all with some estranged goal that when you get there, you'll have a very different goal. But one of the main reasons this happens is incredible sleep deprivation with incredibly active mind all the way until the next morning. And at a certain point, days start to blend together. If you go to sleep at 6 and wake up at 10 and do similar nights like that for a week in a row, it starts to feel as if you're living a day that's lasted 5 days and never stopped, because you never get that proper rest. And that's when the serious psychosis and delusions start. And we can see a bit of this presenting in Ian and how he doesn't really care about anything at all. He's not worried about the army. He's not worried about his family liking or disliking him. He doesn't care about anything. He just wants to continue doing this. And obviously that's against his best interests that he honestly cares about. And that is the reason he's not following his best interests, is because he's very delusional and psychotic. And this wouldn't happen to a normal person. Sleep deprivation would normally do this to somebody, but coupled with the mania and coupled with the predisposition to go psychotic, and including drug use, which is alluded to in a couple episodes, that he was doing drugs while off and on of this job, that is what leads, including bipolar disorder being genetically in you or caused, I'm not sure, but that is what leads to the psychosis and the very dirty, sick aspects of what can happen to somebody with bipolar disorder.